Had built a rocket. I had not flown it yet. I hadn't tested it. Don't really know how good or bad it's going to be. Don't know that it'll be that bad, but it should be interesting to fly. Let's see here. What did I call it? I think it was the Alpha X. Load it. Now, what I said I disliked about it is this little upper stage part here. Since I don't have any of the bigger engines, I have debated, because of the thrust to weight ratio at the start of this is a little bit low, I could increase a little bit at the very start and add another set of rocket boosters on the side. But the main goal is to be able to start ferrying passengers on suborbital flights. So let's go ahead and grab some. First I want to find out who wants a suborbital flight. Kenfred. Matt Dan. Eventually this could be used to save the Kerbals that are stuck in space. I'd like to get a few more parts before I can do something like that. The reason I skipped over the ones above is because I guess I'll go ahead and grab a couple, because that would be one flight. But if I knock out a couple of them, there we go. That should get rid of some of those passengers out of here. Let's see, the only changes I think I have left for the rocket, add in that. Oh, go away. Okay, so this should, well, it'll do a suborbital flight, that's for sure. Whether or not it will get into orbit would be the question. Find out real quick. Save it and launch. So start with the little inclination here. Should help these rocket boosters drop off over in this area, because they're still going up, it's just not as fast as I am. hopefully I didn't tilt too much over. I need to get higher in altitude before I really go much further over. But this is going through fuel fairly quick, but not really insanely fast for the number of engines on the rear of this. So that's pretty cool. Looks like I'm doing fairly well here with the, because I'm at 60 kilometers and climbing on my apoapsis. I still have a fair amount of thrust left. Now, I'm going to do a prograde. And once I get up to the apoapsis or close to it, I'm going to start burning again. And just gonna accelerate time just a little. I'll probably fire at about 10 seconds before I hit apoapsis. Now I don't want to burn up all this fuel with this engine because I need to have some to destabilize my orbit so I can return. Don't know if this will actually get me into orbit. It'll get me close. And it looks like we actually will get orbit. Not a very circularized orbit, but it'll be an orbit. I'm going to cut it at 70, just over 70. So I save fuel. I don't want to also go too far out. Have someone else go out, do a EVA report. Aw. Let's see here. Don't know that there's any new science I can get off of this area. I do have solar panels on it, so I don't have to worry about running out of fuel. But I do know that I can get this into an orbit, which means I can do the take the Kerbals up that need a orbit. The next question, I guess, will be, will this land? And will it land safely? I'm just bringing down the apoapsis some, so that way I don't enter in at a too high a velocity. And actually, I'd rather come in on the other side of the planet. I personally like to land in the sun. But, you know. Okay. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and decline my orbit. And actually, that'll end up making me land over here. But, you know. Let's do this so I can ditch the part, the lower tank. Go back to a retrograde. I'm still apparently at 9.2 tons, which might make this interesting. I guess I could start chucking Kerbals. That would be so nice. But, you know, let's see here. Go ahead and accelerate time until I'm entering orbit. Okay. Anytime now, come on. I had something similar to this setup, or well, the preview, like with that other engine and tank, for my in my other game. It was my space station return vehicle. I left one always stocked that could grab all the Kerbals on the space station, so that way I could return them. You know, they could hop in and come back. Let's see here. Coming in overland. I probably will land on land. Probably be, like I said, right in here. Maybe it on the beach, but I doubt the beach. Hopefully, I didn't come in too steep. If I can't, if you come in too steep, it'll mean I won't have enough time to deploy chutes because I'll be going way too fast. The goal is to come in shallow enough, but that you burn off enough of your energy coming through the atmosphere. Like, I'm still accelerating even though I'm slamming into the atmosphere right now. Oh, it looks like I might now be going the opposite. Yep, I'm starting to decelerate. So, just a matter of time. Hopefully it'll slow enough down that the chutes I won't have a problem with. You really need the surface speed to drop to about 300 or well, has to be, I think, under 700 to really be effective. I'll watch it this time. I know I've seen it before. Because you don't really want to snap the whole thing. You need to have it, slow down enough. Sort of drogue chutes come in handy because you can deploy them higher up. They can withstand a little bit, and they're meant to just slow down the aircraft. A lot of times you deploy a drogue chute, slow it down to the point you can deploy the normal chutes. You deploy the normal chutes, and that's that. Not sure why it just turned. Okay. And see, has to be, well under 700. I'm still going way too fast for the chutes. 500. I'm in the 400s. 300s. 200s. So it's in the 200s. You have to get down to like 250 area. So far, so good. Ooh, we're going a bit fast. Anything I can dump? Don't know that there's anything I can do. We're probably going to destroy the science module down below. So I really need one more parachute would be enough. I have nothing to. This is also why I like to put some kind of way to put landing gears on it. Unfortunately, I don't have the ones I really like that I can use that won't block the doors. I only have the light ones that would block the doors even while retracted, so would have been better to land in water. Oh. Well, we're down. Nothing destroyed. I must have been just right on the line. You don't want to be you don't want to land really any faster than 7.5 meters per second. Oh, I thought you were the scientist. If you have the scientist do the data, it will, you get more science out of it, typically. So if it wasn't Bill... Let's see here. Because a scientist knows what to look for. Okay. He's done all the science he can. Get him back on top. And alright, recover the craft. We'll complete some missions here, which will be handy. Give us some rep and stuff. We got 91 science now. We didn't get much out of that one. go ahead and recover. Out of the 91 tier, or 90 tier, we could buy one more thing. Let's see here. We'll do that. That'll get me a bigger engine. Actually, I think it gives me 2 of them. Plus, it gets me another solid rocket booster. Means I can create a little bit better. We need to rescue more people. Hull, airstream, protective shell into orbit. This we could easily do. Now, what the airstream thing, I believe, is just a... Yeah. It's just, basically, it's great for making science probes. You can make a probe that you can then encapsulate. It's a protective shell that you can just then, you know, I normally make a satellite, put them on, and it covers up all the science stuff, and then I just launch it and leave it out there. I do sometimes, like on later, once I get a space station, I have a docking port on it, and I just let it dock it to the space station to retrieve all the science. So, now, let's see here. Now, I have more engines. So when I take this, I can take this off. That is a massive engine. For what it's doing, that stage, I only need that engine. Now the question becomes, does this produce more thrust than 6 of these? So, if you look at it, we have to compare it in atmospheres, so we have 1.68. That's 5 times 6. That gets us 1012. This does not produce more thrust. But what we can do now is, now that we have bigger engines, we can create more multiple stages. We don't have to have one massive stage. So there's that. We also have a better solid rocket booster. If you look at this, it has a thrust in atmosphere at 593, while the one we've been using only has 250. So but for now, I think that's all I'm going to stream this time. You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is @Grebog, Grebog. And obviously follow me on Twitch. I will try to make this a more regular thing. Obviously I'm doing it more regularly daily, but weekdays. But I need to try to get better at, streaming on a specific time. My goal, I think, would be doing it at about 3 p.m. Eastern. So I will